Having your infant child, just 18 months old, ripped from your arms in wartime by invading soldiers.
Imagine living for years not knowing what happened to her. Now imagine after a separation of 56 years, seeing that daughter again for the first time. It happened at Logan Airport this afternoon. David Ropeek was there.
Anna Arabian strained to get the first sweet glimpse of her daughter. The daughter she bore as a 16-year-old in a foxhole during World War II. The daughter torn from her arms by German soldiers on Christmas Eve, 1942. The daughter she had not seen since.
Get closer because I can't see her.
As Anna moved for a better view, holding the traditional greeting of bread and salt, a sign waited for her daughter.
Lyudmila Alexandrovna, welcome to America.
Anna's other daughter, Kathy Cobb, born just after the war, waited nervously too, to see a sister she had never seen. After the war, Anna and her daughter Kathy came to America, to the Providence area. In 1961, a Russian family they had been living near went home and miraculously discovered Lyudmila living near St. Petersburg. But when the family got Lyudmila a visit to come and live in the United States, the Russians put Lyudmila in jail. Anna sent her letters. They were stolen. But Kathy never stopped trying to arrange this day.
I always had a dream that she would come, I would meet her. I never gave up. I never gave up on that hope.
Lyudmila will spend 2 months here. The family has no specific plans. That hardly matters. They'll be together.
Just like a big dream. And then you open your eyes, sometimes it's nothing. Just dust. But this is reality. That's reality. Open your my eyes, and she's here.
At Logan, David Ropeek, News Center 5.
Wow. 2 months is hardly enough time to get caught up on a half a century.
I know. They won't be getting any sleep. They're going to want to burn the midnight oil every night. My gosh.
What a wonderful story. All right, that's it for this edition of News Center 5 at 5:30.
Imagine going through life never knowing what happened to your baby after the child was taken out of your arms by soldiers during the war. It happened to a Russian woman who now lives in Cranston. And after more than a half-century of separation, today, for the first time at Logan Airport, she was reunited with her long-lost daughter. As Gina Ricciardi reports, a mother's prayers were answered.
A long-awaited mother and child reunion. And two sisters who finally meet for the first time. More than 50 years ago in Russia, Nazis snatched Lyudmila Ulyaneva, only 18 months old, from Anna Arabian's arms. Anna was thrown into a Nazi concentration camp and would never see her baby again until today.
Every time when I write to her, she always says, not mother, mommy. I was so happy to see her. I just couldn't wait to put my arms around her.
Anna's first husband, Lyudmila's father, was killed by the Germans. Anna married a man she met in a concentration camp, came to America, and had her second daughter, Kathy.
21 years ago, Anna's friends from Russia decided to go back to their homeland after migrating to America. They went back to Anna's old village where they found a young, beautiful Russian woman, Anna's daughter, Lyudmila.
Lyudmila was living with her grandmother, Anna's mother. When the two asked their communist government to visit family in America, they were thrown in jail. Since then, the Iron Curtain has fallen, and friends and family have raised enough money to bring Anna to Cranston.
She doesn't believe it.
A reunion that's still sinking in. Gina Ricciardi, ABC 6 News.
Wonderful. Lyudmila will be staying in Cranston through the holidays.
An amazing family reunion against every obstacle imaginable. More than 50 years ago, Anna Bobkin was taken away by the Nazis, separated from her baby daughter. She has spent much of her life wondering what became of that little girl. Well, Anna finally got her answer after an amazing twist of fate. Late in the summer of 1941, the German army was advancing on the small Russian town of Ludsky. As artillery pounded the village, 17-year-old Anna Bobkin was giving birth to her first child in the only safe haven, a foxhole.
You can hear the bullets whistling from left to right, above. The baby has to be born. No doctors, no medicine, no nothing. Like I said, the God was with us.
But Anna's faith in God was about to be tested. On Christmas Eve of 1942, when the baby was just 15 months old, Anna's husband did the unthinkable. He sold her into slavery to the Nazis. In return, he got a few pounds of sugar.
They marched, dragging me barefoot in the snow.
The heartless Nazis actually sang Christmas carols as they tore Anna from her daughter, Ludmilla. While the baby was left with Anna's mother, the terrified teenager was shipped off to do slave labor, and in 1943, she ended up in the infamous death camp, Dachau. Once again, all Anna clung to was her belief in God.
I'm a strong believer in God. If I didn't believe it, I would be dead when I was 18.
After enduring 2 years of hard labor and torture, Dachau was liberated by American soldiers and Anna was set free. But after the war, Russia closed its borders and Anna was unable to search for her daughter.
If I went to Russia, I would be dead. They executed people who returned from Germany.
She eventually remarried and gave birth to 2 other children. Then in 1950, they left Germany for Providence, Rhode Island. But Anna always believed that one day she would find the baby girl she left behind with her mom.
If I gave up hope, I would look for them. But I said that they are alive, but I didn't know where.
Then, in 1963, a miracle. Anna asked a Russian couple who was moving back home to look for Ludmilla. And while they were driving to Anna's hometown, their car got stuck in the snow. Unbelievably, the woman who came to their aid was Anna's mother. And even more amazing, 21-year-old Ludmilla was alive and still living with her grandma.
I hoped that they will find her. And that's my belief is answered.
Ludmilla also had faith her mother would someday find her.
I believed in God, and I believed my mother was alive and looking for me.
For the next 3 decades, mother and daughter communicated through letters from half a world away. But again, the Soviet government kept them apart. As the Berlin Wall fell, so did communism and travel restrictions were lifted. Now, with money being the only obstacle, Anna's faith in God was repaid. Members of her church raised enough money to fly Ludmilla back into the arms of her mother.
Get closer because I can't see her.
And last November, after 56 years of anticipation, mother and daughter were finally reunited.
Just like I've never been away from them and been missing. It's like we've always been together, and this was a natural way to be.
Despite unimaginable atrocities, a family was reunited for a very special Christmas. Their faith in God proved stronger than armies at war, and their love transcended borders.
That's not a dream. It's a reality. My wish came true.
Ludmilla returned to her husband and kids in Russia last week, and while Anna looks forward to Ludmilla's next visit, she says she will not go back to Russia because the memories are simply too painful.
Anna Arabian and Elmer Ratliff are meeting for the very first time.
And they give you pictures.
But 54 years ago, they stood on common ground.
Many people saying was never been a concentration camp. They're lying. The concentration camps existed.
She was a 20-year-old prisoner at Dachau, wasted away to just 84 pounds.
I was 18 years old. I hadn't seen things like that.
He was one of the American soldiers who liberated the camp in 1945.
I saw the trains with the bodies in them that had come in there from other camps. It's It's just hard to describe the things you saw and the things that were running through your mind.
He took photographs and tucked them away until last December. At home in Texas, Elmer saw a People magazine article about Anna's reunion with a daughter the Nazis had separated her from. He used the internet to get her phone number and address in Cranston, where she settled after the war.
When I looked at that article, I thought, Anna's the reason we fought World War II. And I just am emotional when I talk about it, and I'm sorry about that. But I'm glad to be here to join you in this celebration. Don't think that Dachau can't happen again.
I'm very proud to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think to each of us, she represents the value of freedom. It's true.
In Cumberland, Audrey Laganis, News Channel 10.
Well, Elmer Ratliff heads back to Texas tomorrow. Arabian, who is an Eastern Orthodox and originally from Finland, says she will never return to Europe under any circumstances. Coming up next, on Valentine's Day, a special